What up, guys? What up, guys? It's the main man here, Double H, half to that hope, man. So again, this is the Double H Q&A. Sorry that it's been late. A lot of stuff happening. We're building up to the Champions League final, as well as also getting all my whole World Cup coverage prepared. So I've really been quite all hands on deck. I'm trying to give you guys the best coverage out there. But so this should have come out on Friday. Didn't have time, but it's coming out today. So again, to get a question answered, head to the website halfoffootballhot.com. You scroll down and then you put in your name, your email, and anything you want to talk about, whether it's football related, non-football related, anything you want to talk about, just hit it to me, your boy Double H. Let's get right down to it. So this is from Nash Tariq Hood. Hello, HH. 2 questions to ask you, my friend. 1, what do you think of Kevin Hart? I'll just increase the brightness here. What do you think of Kevin Hart as a comedian and an entertainer? I honestly think from 2009 to 2012, he was at his best in terms of stand-up comedy, special and comedy tours based on videos that he posted about his tour shows. His movies were amazing, and the interviews that he had on late night shows, YouTube channels, and behind-the-scenes videos were ridiculously funny. But after the 2012, once he became a lot more recognized, he became really cringeworthy and corny. His style of comedy became nonsensical, and it seemed like he was trying way too hard. So can you please start making your videos like you used to 2 years back, sitting behind the table from a far distance with the 4K camera doing the 12 to 6 minutes post-match analysis videos? I know you're becoming more and more busy, but I think your content will become better. So I'll go backwards with the second question. I mean, I'm still experimenting with a few things, you know. And yeah, I may go back to sitting behind that table because I think a lot of guys like the whole table thing. But so again, still experimenting, still thinking about what works, what doesn't work, but definitely I will make sure that you guys know what is what once I start getting these things downtown. So with regards to Kevin Hart, to be honest, I've never been a fan of Kevin Hart's stand-up comedy. I don't really think he's that great of a stand-up comedian. I always felt like he was overrated. I mean, when you compare him to Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, my personal favorites, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, he really doesn't stand up that great. And for me, I feel Eddie Griffin is actually better than him. But saying that, I'm not a fan of his films, but his TV series, The Real Husbands of Hollywood, for me is hilarious. I think that is the best thing that he's done. But despite that, I'm just not a fan of any of his other stuff, personally. All right. So, Leon Kruger. I'm just whether this is actually right. Okay, cool. So from Leon Kruger, hi HH, I am Leon Kruger from Germany. I like your analysis. This Saturday was an historical day for the Bundesliga because Hamburg is relegated for the first time in their entire history. Hamburg was part of the Bundesliga for 55 years. They were the only club in Germany which played every single season in the Bundesliga. Even Dortmund got relegated and Bayern started from the second Bundesliga. Hamburg won 6 Bundesliga titles, 3 German Cups, 1 Champions League, and they won a Champions League? And meanwhile, they are after Bayern and Dortmund as the 3rd biggest club in Germany when it comes to how many titles and major titles a club has won. On the everlasting table, count all points from the start of the Bundesliga till today, they are on position 3. I'm writing all this to showcase you the magnitude of Hamburg. My question is, clubs like Hamburg, etc., investors to get their glory days back? So do clubs like Hamburg and Ajax need investors to get their glory days back, or should they focus on youth? What is your advice? Crazy. It's quite amazing, the story of Hamburg, how they've never been relegated, and finally, because I think for the past 3 seasons, they've either just escaped relegation or they've won their playoff. I think last season where they actually won their relegation playoff, which is what Wolfsburg are involved in now, I believe. So I think they need a bit of both. You need to realize that this is, again, thanks for the question from Germany, this is modern football right now. And I think Hamburg, you've got to play ball. For them to really get back into it, they need an investor to try and actually buy some big names and bring in some guys in there. But at the same time, you need to invest in youth. There are some guys that need to leave the Hamburg team. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's Giroud still plays for them. Not Giroud, the Swiss defender. So he plays for them. And he's a bit sketchy. So they need to just invest in youth and they have to revamp the entire team. I mean, because the tendency, and I think the issue they've had is, you're hanging on to older players, hanging on to guys who've been there for a long time. But I think they really need to really look into their system, look into their youth system, promote a lot more players, get better scouting, and just totally revitalize the entire team. But yeah, that is a crazy story of Hamburg. Very crazy. Kwame Adonseng. Hello, Halfhope. Can you tell us your real name and what you are doing for a living? No, I can't tell you my real name. My real name is Halfhope. That is my real name. That's all you will be getting. And what for a living I am, I think some people know this, you know, I'm a sports analyst. So I analyze sports for a TV station. So yeah, I do sports analysis. As well as some other side things as well, you know. From Drogba, okay. Hey HH, do you think it is realistic for Arsenal fans to think that someone else will do better than Arsene Wenger, the man who brought them up from inconsistently finishing 10th, 4th, 5th, and 13th to challenging and winning the title 3 times, and always finishing top 4 until 15-16? It is clear that a new Arsenal manager can't catch Man City, probably can't catch United, and Liverpool. Spurs also has a better squad, and if they strengthen, they'll be far better than Arsenal. And then there is Chelsea that just need Uncle Abraham to invest a bit to challenge again. I'm not sure what you're trying to say to me. Are you trying to tell me that? So you're basically trying to tell me that no new manager can do as good as Wenger? No, that's not the point. The whole point is that Wenger's time has come, and he needs to bring in a new coach. Maybe a new coach can do some amazing things. You know, Tottenham are not a team who I think you can depend upon to consistently finish in the top 4. And who knows what Liverpool can do. So look, I just feel you just never know. You just never know what a new manager can bring. And I think that if Arsenal find the right manager, I keep saying Nagelsmann, I definitely think that they can definitely surprise a lot of people, especially the fact that not a lot of people will be really viewing them based on how badly they've done in the last few seasons. All right. From PQU Disney. Hey HH, what are your thoughts on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series? In my opinion, it is extremely underrated and deserves more love because of how unique and different it is to most other superhero series. Also, which turtle is your favorite? I wasn't a fan of the cartoon series. I never read the comics. I wasn't a fan of the cartoon series. But the films, specifically the first film, for me is one of my favorite films of all time. I'll probably put it in my top 15 favorite films of all time. That film is a classic. That Ninja Turtles film is an absolute classic. One of my favorite films of all time. And I don't think it's actually underrated. I think Turtles definitely gets a lot of respect. People respected it a lot, you know. And yeah, I was a massive Turtles fan. When I was young, I had the chairs and the table, dinner set and everything. So yeah, I was a big fan. My favorite turtle, I want to make sure that I get it right. Now, it's different. When I was young, it was Michelangelo because he was the most fun. But growing up, it probably has to be Raphael. I think when I was young, it was Michelangelo. But I think growing up now, because of how much of a rebel Raphael was and how different he was, I will say Raphael. But I think it's a toss between Raphael. I still like Michelangelo because of just his attitude. I think Leonardo was a bit too serious for me. Whereas Donatello was much more of the father figure type. But I think the most interesting guys character-wise was the ones I gravitated to the most were Michelangelo and Raphael. But I think at older age, definitely Raphael, younger age, Michelangelo. Yeah, nice question, good question. From Pedro. Hey there, HH. Since you have been a massive follower of the sport for many years, how do you rate Juninho? He's probably the best free kick taker ever, but did you ever feel he was world-class or near world-class? Personally felt like he probably should have taken his silence to a bigger club than Lyon, would have been rated a lot higher. For me, Juninho was a guy that at his best, I'd put him tier 2. I don't think he was ever world-class, but if we're talking free kicks, he was one of the best free kicks taker ever. And little tidbit, who learns to perfect their free kick technique from Juninho? Pirlo. Pirlo said that he looked at Juninho and the way that he struck the ball, and that was how he perfected his free kick technique. So yeah, that's just how amazing Juninho was. Well, literally, Juninho, remember, most guys would go for placement, but literally he would smack it. But it was, because Pirlo was saying it was where he hit the ball. Because he says if he hit the ball in the right spots with the right power, it was almost impossible for a keeper to save because it is going with so much power and so much swerve. It was hard to really save. I don't know, man. I mean, if he had gone to Barcelona or Madrid or Bayern, I don't know, because I don't think Juninho... the only thing I knew of Juninho was that, yeah, he was pretty good. Great free kick taker, pretty good player, but I never really felt as if he really had that je ne sais quoi, you know. Yeah. So all I'd say for Juninho, pretty good player, but I don't really think he was really that dude. Yeah. Manfred Gunza, hey HH, with the World Cup just a few weeks away, I wanted to ask you a hypothetical question. If Nigeria were in the final and you started the game, would you rather score 2 goals and have a man of the match performance but end up losing 3-2? Or be the reason your team suffers by giving away a goal? Example, Cruz in 2014 and being their worst player on the day, but have your country end up winning the World Cup. There's no question. Easily the latter. Like, I couldn't... Who cares about... Well, I would happily be the worst player, the loser, as long as my country won the World Cup. So yeah, I would easily, happily be the worst, crappiest player, score 5 own goals, be the boss of everyone's jokes, and I'll be like, okay, fair enough, it's fine. But as long as the country won that World Cup, screw it, fine. I'm happy with the insults that's come my way. Because even if I had that amazing man of the match performance, that's just me, and that's just being selfish. Because I believe the country is more important than the individual. From PS, hi HH, keep up the great videos you upload. Your football analysis is on a point. Thank you. My question today is: are there any managers of note who play a balanced style of football, and would a balanced style of play be the best way not to be countered tactically? Thanks. I mean, you look at Benitez. He plays a very balanced type of way. You look at... I'm trying to think, who else? Allegri. Allegri isn't really defensive. Allegri is more balanced. I think Allegri... you would say Simeone. Simeone's teams are not really defensive. You know, they're not really defensive. Like, these guys, I would say they're more balanced. Like, there's a misinterpretation that Atletico are a very defensive team. No, they're a balanced team where everything is... They don't attack too much, but they don't really sit back and defend too much. Like a defensive team, Mourinho, his guys are defensive teams. Capello was a defensive-minded manager. And for me, I think that the issue with a balanced team is... if you're a very good attacking team, you'll cause them issues, because if your whole mindset is very, very imbalanced, the reason why Atletico have had issues with Real and Barcelona is that when they're very balanced and a team comes out and attacks you and plays a high line, you don't really have the mindset to really go at them and throw many men forward, because your attitude is to try and keep everything in semblance, whereas, you know, your opponents are just hitting you. So I just think that it's the best managers manage and have different tactics for different situations. So this is when we attack. This is when we sit back. This is when we keep possession of the ball. This is when we use the wingers. This is when we go through the middle. So you really have to have a variation, because without a variation, you're screwed. You have to have a variation. Thanks for the question. All right. Actually, you know what? Let me start that. So, what are your thoughts? So this is from Callum. What are your thoughts on Guardiola winning Premier League Manager of the Year? In my opinion, it is extremely undeserving and should have gone to a manager like Sean Dyche, Chris Hughton, Roy Hodgson, and David Wagner. Pep wouldn't even make top 5 for me. This is a difficult one. I personally wouldn't give it for Pep, but it's very hard to argue against it. A guy who broke so many records, earned 100 points, and won the league, playing his style of way, it's very difficult. But in my personal view, I look at it of like, fair enough, you did all these amazing things, but you spent a lot of money and had a lot of amazing players. What Sean Dyche did was phenomenal. To come 7th with Burnley is incredible, because West Ham, Everton, all these teams have way more Like almost you can pretty much name almost every team below Burnley have a bigger stadium and more money to spend than Burnley have, and Sean Dyche was able to come above them. For me, I think that's amazing. What Chris Hughton did was amazing. What Hodgson did was incredible. Remember where Crystal Palace were and how almost everybody wrote them off and was able to turn things around? Amazing. And David Wagner, flipping Huddersfield, their very first time in the Premier League, and he managed to survive getting an amazing draw at Chelsea. I would have personally given it to Sean Dyche because that's just an amazing achievement. To come 7th with Burnley is management. Because again, who do Burnley don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. So the fact that you don't have any world-class players or any individuals to tend to is amazing. Yes, Pep Guardiola improves players and he gets them to be better. But at the end of the day, De Bruyne is an amazing talent. David Silva is one of the best players in the Premier League. Aguero is one of the greatest strikers the Premier League has ever seen. So this is all facts. So yeah, I would have given it to Sean Dyche. But again, it is amazing what Guardiola and City did. Hey HH, will you be doing a pre-match analysis for Fulham Aston Villa in the Championship playoff final? Also, which team would you rather see promoted? I might. Let me think about it. It depends whether I've got time, but I may do so. Yeah. So I'd rather see Fulham get promoted because of, it's a long time since Fulham have been around, and I've been to their stadium, Craven Cottage, and yeah, it'll be cool to see Fulham back. Right. Hey HH, this is a bit of a personal question. But what religion, from James Lombardo, what religion do you belong to? And if you are not religious, how do you view religion as an outsider? If you are, what do you think of other religions besides your own? Do you feel a certain way about different beliefs? I grew up as a Christian, but I would not say that I am of the Christian faith because I don't really believe in church and I don't really believe in religion. I admire religion for how it can help people, but religion can also cause a lot of harm. So I would say that I'm spiritual. I believe in prayer and I believe that there is a higher power, a higher force. Whoever is, I do believe that that's something or some creature or something of some sort created this, but I have literally no idea what we're doing here, why we're here, and literally every single day I try and figure out just what the hell we are doing on this planet and who we are as human beings and what's everything about death, and everything. And for me, the only thing about the beliefs is that if it's there to cause harm, then F you. But if it's not there to cause harm and it's there to help people, because the thing I always say to atheists is that if you were to take religion away, we would have a lot more wars and a lot more people would actually start killing a lot more people, because a lot of poor people who if you took religion away from their lives, they'd start robbing, killing, and stealing. Say, wait a minute, no, I can't accept this. And there's nothing of me to really keep me through being this whole poverty thing. So I'm just going to rise up and actually just start attack all these rich dudes. So yeah, it can be important. From Alison, hey HH, what are your thoughts on Mancini taking over Italy? I don't think he will get Italy to be amazing. I don't think he'll win much, but it's interesting. But I'm not really sold on whether he's the right man for the job because I've never really rated Mancini as a manager. From Rich, hey HH, what do you think of Bayern getting Goretzka on a free and the rumours with Dybala? Who should they buy to replace Robin and Ribery? Goretzka, great signing. Dybala, I think that would be pretty interesting too. Robin and Ribery, I think they should look at getting Sané and re-signing Douglas Costa, because that was a mistake to sell him. Jake Lane, hey HH, love hearing analysis on the big games and football in general. Keep up the good work, my man. I'm a Real Madrid supporter. I won't hide it. I'm nervous about this final. Anyway, you could make a video considering an in-depth player-by-player breakdown of the starting 11 for each side. I'd love to hear a take on each individual player and the matchups that each player will specifically have to deal with. After this, I believe you'll be able to give a very confident prediction on the outcome of this game. Funny you say that. Watch this space. Watch this space. Jeffrey, hey HH, who do you think should start for Germany on the left? Royce, Sané, or Draxler? I think Royce, because at his peak, he's one of the best players in the world and could cut apart any team. Also, he has more experience than both of them. Yes, Sané, I believe, has had the best season overall. I think Draxler is the most talented individually out of all three of them. But I think Ruiz, he's the most experienced. And when Ruiz is really going, he can really be good. And I mean, the fact that you can choose those three dudes just shows you just how amazing this German team is. Amazing. Max and Kundovs. Hey, bro. I was watching ESPN FC yesterday. Aha. I was watching the same one as you. And one of the French journalists said that apparently Martial had an attitude problem with Deschamps during the Euros, and said that he basically gave up halfway through the tournament and also had a bust-up during one of the recent international breaks where Deschamps questioned his efforts in training. What's your take on this situation? Also, what's your take on Lacazette's missing the World Cup? You're the best, fam. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, I think I might have mentioned this on a video or something. But yes, if that's true, fair enough. I mean, if he has a bad attitude, I fully agree with that, and there's no beef. Lacazette, I think Lacazette should go. I think Lacazette should go. And I think it's a mistake not to take Lacazette. I would take Lacazette over Toto. I think Lacazette as another striker, I think, you know, it's a huge mistake not to take him. From Ben Joel. Hey, HH, I know how much you detest naming starting 11s on one spot. So I just wanted to ask who England should play in midfield and attack in a 4-3-3 and a 4-4-2 formation, as you always insist England should play these formations. So I would say like a 4-4-2. It's going to be tough, man. For me, I think this Livermore kid should be given a go-ahead. Taken from the standby. So I'd say you have Sterling on one end. You have... I'd say you have Sterling on one end. You have Ali on another end. And in the middle, personally, even if they're not there, I would have Wilshere and Livermore in the middle. Because I don't really believe in Henderson and Muller. I don't really believe in them. So I would actually have Wilshere and Livermore in the middle, Sterling on one end, Ali on the other end, and I think they can both intersect and both intertwine. And then you obviously have Harry Kane and Vardy as both of your strikers, or Harry Kane and Rashford. So yeah, that is what I would roll with. I mean, Milner and Henderson as your two central midfielders. Nah, you can't roll with that. Mr. D, what are your thoughts on countries like Brazil, Argentina, Portugal, and all those living experienced players like Nani, Luis Zabaleta, Kabay, and Joe Hart back home? Do you agree with these omissions? Apart from Nani, yes, David Luiz has hardly played. Last time he was for Brazil in a major tournament, we all know what happened. Zabaleta, nope. I don't think he's been that good since he moved to West Ham. And Kabay, France, that French squad is starting. I don't think Kabay is that good within the French squad. Joe Hart has declined. So apart from Nani, who I felt he could still be in there, I think the missions make sense. From forward thinking, hey Double H, hope the week has been kind to you. Thank you. What's latest with the Double H rap album? One of the things I'm looking forward to the most on YouTube. It's coming. And while I'm here, any Netflix recommendations? Need a new series to captivate my interest. Power. Get yourself watching Power. Don't have high hopes, but if you're looking for raw excitement, rolling with Power. And I've just begun Narcos, so I still need to be see how that goes. What are the ones? You must have watched Breaking Bad. I assume that you've seen Breaking Bad. And yeah, I can't. Yeah, so really off the top of my head, I'll definitely say Power. Power is the one that you should definitely be watching. From Jeffrey. Yo, my Niger brother, can you let me join your Google Hangouts, bro? I'd bring more on a Hangout than those bricks you currently have. Jokes all off. Big fan of your work, nonetheless. Keep it up. I've been emailed you before about this a couple of weeks ago, but it seems you may not have got this message. I'd love to be part of that Hangout show. So, Jeffrey, send me a message on Twitter. Tell me your username, and then I will definitely try and make a space for you. For sure, my Niger friend. All right. And from Shegu, do you think Higuain over Icardi is a smart move? Icardi 29 goals in Syria, Higuain 16 goals plus. Flopped in the last World Cup. I'm pissed because I was hoping for Argentina to win, but now I'm not so sure. Anybody who takes Higuain over Icardi is a damn moron, and I think Icardi should feel extremely pissed off. So guys, that is it for this. Remember to get to send in your question, it's www.halfoffootballhot.com. Scroll down, email, and I will make sure that your question is answered. Peace out, stay true, and stay black. Peace.